CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight in Sarnia in reaction to a proposed oil pipeline which would carry crude from Alberta for refining in Chemical Valley. As Jerry Dewan reports, the economic benefits are enticing, but there are environmental concerns as well.
The Northern Shield Energy Corridor would build 3,300 kilometers of pipeline from Hardisty, Alberta to refineries in Sarnia. The head of the Sarnia-Lambton Economic Partnership says the pipeline could bring generational change.
You don't undergo a pipeline project without having certainties, not just for years, but for decades into the future.
Matthew Slotwinski says the economic opportunities will extend beyond oil refining.
It's important to note that this project is Canadian feedstock through a Canadian pipeline to Canadian refining, which ultimately is the engine that feeds manufacturing across Ontario and Eastern Canada. This is a project we should all be excited for.
Ada Lockridge is a member of the Amnajong First Nation and an environmental activist. Her work has led to expanded water and air testing throughout the region. While she's had concerns about the environmental impacts of the Chemical Valley, she's not taking a stand against the pipeline project.
I'm not opposed to it because, like, what's going on with the United States and that right now.
Lockridge says volatility created by the Trump administration makes it necessary to be less economically dependent on the U.S. Amnajong sits on the southern edge of Sarnia, adjacent to the Chemical Valley. She wants to ensure oil refineries and petroleum-related businesses continue to operate safely. Lockridge says it's imperative to have comprehensive air and water quality monitoring and to be absolutely transparent with whatever information is gathered. The Northern Shield proposal has already raised red flags for Lockridge. She says sulfur in the air has long been a concern in the Sarnia region, and she's seen reports that crude flowing from Alberta could have higher levels of sulfur.
Sarnia needs to clean up their sulfur and that here already.
Amnajong First Nation Chief Janelle Namabin has issued a statement recognizing the economic potential of the line, but also identifying the nation's concerns, saying our community is already living in a state of environmental emergency. Adding new pipeline risks without addressing existing harms is unacceptable. In Sarnia, Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
The Durham Regional Police Chief has confirmed one of their recruits was killed in a crash near Aylmer today, while a second recruit was seriously injured. They were in a vehicle that collided with a transport truck at Imperial Road and College Line.
Unfortunately, one person was pronounced deceased at the scene. One was taken to a local hospital with critical injuries. The driver of the tractor trailer, he's uninjured.
According to the Durham Regional Police Chief, the constables in training were traveling together near the Ontario Police College at the time of the crash. Both involved vehicles ended up in respective ditches. Multiple roads in the area were closed for the police investigation. One person was killed in a crash on Confederation Line in Sarnia last night. Police say the collision happened around 11 p.m. Monday. A smashed-up pickup truck was still at the scene today. According to police, 2 people were taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries, where one of the victims was later pronounced dead. They were also asking anyone with information on the crash to contact them. Oxford OPP say one person suffered life-threatening injuries in a crash in Norwich Township yesterday. They published this image saying there was only one driver involved. According to police, the 27-year-old was rushed to hospital where he remains. They're asking for any witnesses to contact them. Protesters disrupted a business luncheon today, which was co-hosted by local MPP Rob Flack. The demonstrators were striking workers from Community Living London who say they've been trying to get a meeting with him. Brian Bicknell has more on the message they wanted Flack to hear.
About 50 members of OPSU Local 166 rally outside the St. Thomas constituency office of Rob Flack, planting protest signs in windows, interacting with arriving guests, and making lots of noise. They're trying to get a face-to-face with the Elgin Middlesex London Tory MPP.
We've been asking him to meet for over 7 weeks, and he refuses to meet with us. We just want to have a conversation, and we just need this fixed. Ontario is in crisis.
The Community Living London workers are now in their 7th week of a strike. While the union is negotiating with the employer, the province must sign off on any deal. Workers are seeking the same 6.5% pay increase awarded to other Ontario workers. After Bill 124, the province's wage capping bill was overturned in court rulings. Their fight gaining support with some attending the luncheon.
I think everybody should stand up for what they believe in, because if we don't stand up for what we believe in, then no action takes place, unfortunately. So keep fighting. That's all I have to say.
Especially when it is private property and they've asked.
After repeated requests to leave, police are called and the striking workers retreat to the rear of the building on public property. Meanwhile, outside Community Living London offices, picketing continues. The strike by OPSU is province-wide, with more than 4,500 workers on picket lines at Community Living offices across Ontario, including close to 600 in London, some growing weary.
Some of those hopes start to fall by the wayside, and I think by now we've all just ready to go. We're ready for this to end.
Community Living is using replacement workers during the strike.
There's people living in nursing homes that are 30, 40 years old just to get medical care. That is not quality of life for people with developmental disabilities.
The striking workers don't get their meeting, but CTV News speaks to Rob Flack at the event, who simply says democracy is messy sometimes, but declines our request to speak on camera. Brian Bicknell, CTV News, St. Thomas.
A program administered by City Hall covers the cost of air conditioning units for local low-income seniors. However, the program's strict income limit means many struggling seniors are declined each year. Daryl Newcomb has more on a push to broaden eligibility for a program which has the potential to save lives.
High temperatures and low incomes put too many seniors in London at risk every summer, unable to afford the cost of a window-mounted air conditioner.
We know a lot of seniors are struggling financially, and seniors are the most likely to die or be impacted by heat stroke and heat exhaustion.
Councillor Skylar Frank says discretionary benefits through Ontario Works and ODSP fund the purchase of air conditioners for the very lowest income seniors in our community. However, there are many low-income seniors who earn just a little more than that threshold, which means they don't qualify for the AC unit program.
I'm asking staff to look into a pilot project to see, is there a mechanism that we can provide a subsidy or air conditioning units for seniors who aren't qualifying for the other programs that exist.
According to Frank's motion, citywide, demand for the current program has been increasing each year, with 258 units purchased last year at a total cost of $93,000.
We always encourage that during high heat waves that people are able to, take advantage of cooling centers and finding abilities to cool themselves off.
Recently, Middlesex London EMS saw a rise in call volumes for seniors and other vulnerable individuals experiencing heat-related illnesses.
In the past heat wave that we saw, our recent one that's just slowly breaking now, we saw an 8% increase.
An upfront investment of a one-time cost for an air conditioning unit would actually prevent some ongoing operational costs that we see in our healthcare sector and in our ambulance costs.
Frank suggests the one-time cost of a pilot project could be appropriately sourced from City Hall's Climate Change Reserve Fund.
Since we are seeing the extreme heat waves we have been seeing, it might be a good use of our Climate Change Reserve Fund money to be able to pull out, let's say $50,000 for a pilot. There's just over $1 million sitting in that budget.
Frank's motion will be considered at a committee meeting next week. If approved by council, she'd like to have a staff report back in time to have a program with broader eligibility in place before next summer. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Canadian border agents say they've laid a dozen charges against a local man through an immigration fraud investigation involving international students. According to investigators, 35-year-old Janish Kumar Patel and a resident from Cambridge conned students out of more than $125,000. They say they were tipped off by officials at Lambton College. The suspects are accused of telling the victims they were paying tuition, but they were never actually enrolled in any programs. Border agents say Patel has now fled the country and an arrest warrant has been issued. A 45-year-old man was sentenced to 5 years in prison today, convicted of dangerous driving, causing the death of a retired principal last year and seriously injuring her husband. With more on the decision from the London courthouse, here's Nick Paparella.
This is what was left behind after 45-year-old Randy Jones of Manitoulin Island drove erratically in a pickup truck through downtown London, speeding up to 94 kilometers an hour and going through red lights on September 10th of last year. His driver's license had been suspended at the time. He eventually crashed into 67-year-old Catherine Sallows and her 70-year-old husband, Stephen, at Queens Avenue in William, and then fled on foot. Catherine, a retired principal, would die days later in hospital, and Stephen is still recovering emotionally and physically. During the sentencing, Justice Ghazala Zalman told the court the death has deprived her husband of his life partner. Mr. Sallows speaks of nightmares, panic attacks, and grief. Jones would be arrested about a week later in Thunder Bay after a police chase. He was in a stolen pickup truck at the time. The court heard about his alarming driving record with 18 speeding infractions over 2 decades. The judge said this record demonstrates a persistent disregard of the rules governing the safe operation of a motor vehicle, and it establishes that prior sanctions failed to deter Mr. Jones from unsafe driving. She went on, Mr. Jones fled the scene after the collision and failed to render assistance to anyone involved, including people that were in his own vehicle. Originally charged with 11 counts, in April, Jones pled guilty to dangerous driving causing death and dangerous driving causing bodily harm. After a joint sentencing submission from the Crown and the defense, Jones was handed a 5-year prison term along with a lifetime driving prohibition. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
A major cleanup is underway at a campground in Bayfield after an intense storm this past weekend. The site remains closed, and the owner says it will likely take weeks to get all the debris cleared. With more, here's Scott Miller.
It's been 5 days since a fast-moving storm cut a swath of destruction through parts of the Rainbow Valley campground in Bayfield.
I've got over 100 trees destroyed, and they were knocked down from one end of the property to the other.
Around 6 in the morning on Friday, July 3rd, Brandon was awoken by a loud crack of thunder and then text messages from his campers that the 100-site seasonal trailer park had been hit hard by the storm.
I couldn't even get down the hill. It was blocked off completely. We had to move our way in and step by step.
5 days later, the campground remains closed as the damage is still quite evident. About 40 trailers suffered damage, says Brandon. Several still have trees and limbs crushing their roofs.
I can't open the park until I get some of the hangers out of the trees, and then they'll be able to start cleaning up their personal lots.
Thankfully, no one was injured, says Brandon, but the cleanup will likely take weeks.
If it had been 1 day later, I'd have had all the kids would have been out of school. They'd have had their first long weekend of the summer, and they'd have been here. It could have been so much worse.
Due to its remote location along the Bayfield River, many people in Bayfield aren't even aware of the damage at Rainbow Valley, says Brandon. He's not sure what it was that hit this campground, but some of the twisted limbs do look like it may have been a tornado.
They twisted things up, even if it wasn't a twister. I don't know what it was, but a downburst of some sort.
In Bayfield, Scott Miller, CTV News.
An education partnership was announced today in Leamington between Fanshawe College and the Caldwell Island First Nation. Michelle Molesky has more on the plan to make continuing education more accessible.
Caldwell's chief knows the power of education.
When I got my high school diploma and my siblings got their high school diplomas, we were first-generation high school graduates. And it gives me great honor to say that my mom is going to be getting her high school diploma.
That's why this signing is so significant. The Greater Essex County District School Board and Fanshawe College are going to work with Caldwell First Nation to encourage more band members to go back to school.
there's a lot they might not know. They might not understand computers. But what the great part about this program is that there's so many people to help them through the journey.
Caldwell students will either go to adult education programs in Windsor, Essex, or be enrolled in classes in London.
It's free to participate in our ACE program, free to participate in our academic upgrading, and then working in partnership with Fanshawe's Indigenous Institute, it's really ensuring that there are other pathways for them if they're looking to go to college on the long term.
When you think about a community like Caldwell, they come from community. So our success is how do we build that community so that they feel welcome, right, type of thing. How do we acknowledge them and their teachings and their way of living.
We're just going to meet with Caldwell on a more regular basis to make sure we're meeting the needs of the community. So instead of an individual basis, we're looking more at a community basis and focus with Caldwell First Nation.
The partnership is in its infancy, but already has shown interest.
We have already 3 band members that are interested in pursuing this program.
Band members interested in either finishing high school or entering the post-secondary world need only reach out to the First Nation office to get the ball rolling. In Leamington, Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
Public visitations have been announced here in London for the late country music figure Tommy Hunter.
Someday I'll sit down and write all that's gone by in my life, and the things I tried to do both right and wrong.
The visitations are scheduled for Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. and then 6 to 8 p.m. at the Needham Funeral Home on Dundas Street. Photos and memorabilia from Hunter's decades-long career will be on display. A private funeral for family will be held at a later date. Hunter's death was announced last week. He was 89 years old. Still ahead, an emergency evacuation in Manhattan. Crews concerned about a possible collapse in the middle of an office to apartment conversion. Canada's main stock index finished in positive territory, helped by gains in energy stocks. The TSX gained 60 points in New York. The Dow fell 131. The Nasdaq lost 302. The Canadian dollar gained 1/10 cent today. On commodity markets, gold lost $10 an ounce. Oil added $1.89 a barrel. World leaders have gathered in Turkey for a one-day NATO summit discussing military spending and the war in Ukraine. With more on those conversations and Mark Carney's priorities, here's Graham Richardson.
The biggest issue here at NATO, especially for European allies, is the war in Ukraine. Russia bombing Kyiv the day before Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived here in Turkey. He met with Prime Minister Mark Carney today. Reports say 30 people died during the attack.
This barbarism of Putin, which continues in recent days, will not succeed.
That, coupled with U.S. President Donald Trump's anger with the alliance over a perceived lack of support for the American-Israeli war with Iran. Into this tense atmosphere, Canada trying to tell a positive story. It's getting help from the head of NATO. Today, the alliance confirming it will negotiate with Saab to buy more Global-I planes in what could be a lucrative partnership with Bombardier in Montreal.
This will ensure we keep NATO's owned and operated surveillance and early warning capability strong and credible for decades to come.
Canadian officials are quick to counter the tension with their new spending, like Monday's announcement on subs and how they're deepening connections with NATO allies.
It means that we can each share crews, for example, on the submarines.
The consensus is Canada is in a much better position here than even a few months ago.
Remember that just a few summits ago, it was a question of reaching 2% of GDP in terms of defense spending. We've achieved that now.
That may be true, but again today, government officials would not say specifically how much all of this military spending will cost. Again today, the defense minister said that the submarine contract will grow the economy. Usually when you spend like this, you have 3 options: hike taxes, cut programs, or take on more debt. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ankara.
Good evening. A clear overnight. Temperatures in the mid to upper teens in southern Ontario, and a hot one on the way for tomorrow. Thanks so much, Lynn, for this photo taking on Canada Day. Great celebration with Estella. This was in Point Clark. Temperatures in the morning, about 23 degrees by 8 o'clock. It's going to get hot and humid in the afternoon. I'll have your local weather details coming up right after this.
Welcome back on the desk with Julie Atchison, and right now we're talking about how a little bit cooler this week, especially compared to last week, but not cold by any means. It's still pretty hot out with the humidity. I know I played soccer over the weekend, and it was overcast, but I was still sweating like crazy.
Yeah, you can feel the humidity, and it's changing out there even today, and tomorrow will become increasingly hot and humid. So anytime you get outside and you're playing sports, even when it's cloudy, it still feels extremely warm. Now, it took the better part of the day to scour out a lot of that cloud cover that was hanging around this morning in Carlyle, but it was humid this morning, and you can feel it out there through the evening and even tonight. 28 degrees our high temperature, and last night 19. We are under the influence of high pressure. That'll be with us tomorrow, and that means lots of sunshine in the forecast. A beautiful day, but it's going to be a hot one and increasingly humid in the afternoon. Now, there is a front that is strung up just out over Lake Superior, and it's really not moving a whole lot, so it's just kind of hanging out. There will be an area of low pressure that'll ride along that front and eventually drift towards southern Ontario on a Thursday as a cold front. So that energy will eject out of the Central Plains and pull a cold front towards the lower Great Lakes. That will bring some showers, but they'll hold off until a Thursday. So we'll start to see some cloud cover develop as we head into tomorrow night, and the chance for showers towards the Bruce Peninsula by early morning hours before sunrise. We'll have some rain first thing in the morning, and then the risk for scattered showers and thunderstorms across the region as we head into your Thursday evening. The cold front will come through. The main threats will be torrential downpours, so we'll be keeping an eye on that front as it slips across southern Ontario Thursday. Overnight, temperatures dip down between 16 and 18 degrees. Skies, as I mentioned, will be clear. We'll start the day with lots of sunshine. Tomorrow looks beautiful in the morning. Heading out the door at 23 degrees, but by the afternoon, 31. And it's not going to feel like 31. It's going to feel like the upper 30s. And then Thursday, the showers potential moving in likely closer to the afternoon in London with the risk of thunderstorms. Daytime highs over the next couple of days, 29 to 31. But again, you'll notice the humidity. With the passage of the cold front, the temperature will dip a bit on Friday, but still 26 degrees. It is, after all, a summer, mainly cloudy. Chance of showers in the morning, but by the afternoon, we should see some good breaks in the cloud. Saturday, sunshine. The weekend is shaping up to be a win. Daytime highs 27 Saturday and Sunday, 29 on Monday. Under a mix of sun and cloud, the heat and humidity make a comeback Monday and Tuesday, with daytime highs climbing into the upper 20s. I know many people will be heading down to Sunfest this weekend, and it looks great for some outdoor fun. Temperatures won't be oppressive in terms of daytime highs, right where we should be for this time of year over the weekend. So sunshine across Midwestern Ontario. Beautiful day setting up for tomorrow. We'll start to see the clouds move in. It'll be a bit cooler, of course, in those lakeshore communities, but the further inland you go, the temperature will be a bit warmer. Thursday, the rain with the front, 28 and 26 on Friday. The weekend, back-to-back days of sunshine, mainly sunny on Saturday and Sunday. Carlyle, back to you.
Thank you, Julie. Stabilization work is underway on a New York City high-rise after neighboring buildings were evacuated for fear it might collapse. It's the site of an office-to-residential conversion where crews discovered buckling columns and sagging floors. With more, here's Joy Malvin.
A scary scene just blocks from Times Square in New York. This massive office building being converted to luxury apartments began showing signs of stress, with frantic calls to the fire department.
2nd Avenue, 3rd Avenue. The bricks falling from the building.
A construction worker filmed this. Steel beams on the 21st and 22nd floor appear to be buckling. Multiple cracks and floors appear to be sagging, raising fears of a collapse.
It's not supposed to happen. Columns are not supposed to bend like that. I've never seen this before.
The high-rise not safe, as officials deemed the office tower near the Chrysler Building and Grand Central Station was unstable and dangerous.
The way this building is constructed, it's a steel frame building, so it would not be a total collapse. It would be more of a localized collapse. But that remains our concern.
Prompting evacuations at nearby hotels, residences, and a school, the mayor set up a collapse zone, closing off the streets to people and traffic for several blocks.
Quite terrified. I just work in this building over here, and to see something like this in your own community, it's a bit terrifying to see.
The building had been under construction for 2 years, adding more floors, the largest conversion in New York's history. The mayor was asked about allegations, complaints, and were corners cut.
There is an active investigation underway as to what brought us to this point. Our focus right now is on making sure that this site is safe, this building is safe, this neighborhood is safe.
The city's brought in experts in a race to determine if they can begin to reinforce and stabilize this high-rise, warning everyone, avoid the area. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
Welcome back. Executives with a British film studio say they are developing a feature-length movie with an AI-generated actor in the starring role. The decision to create the AI personality in the first place sparked controversy last year. And as John Venevali-Rao reports, this film will likely only stoke those tensions even more.
Hi, I'm Tilly Norwood, the world's first AI actor.
Ever since she was created last year, she has courted controversy.
I know you all say I'm not real, but who cares?
An AI-generated actor that's generated a lot of concern in Hollywood. And now the British company behind Tilly Norwood says she'll star in a full-length feature film.
I totally understand where people are coming from and thinking that it's really scary and thinking that it shouldn't happen.
Tilly Norwood, 100% AI generated.
The movie is slated to be called Misaligned and tells the story of Tilly trying to be more human. It's billed as a hybrid production, human film and TV pros directing, writing, and editing alongside AI specialists.
It's going to be a fun comedy that's going to showcase where the tech's at.
Tilly was in part created by Dutch comedian Eline van der Velden, and the character hasn't exactly been embraced by Hollywood stars. Emily Blunt has called it really, really scary.
I do think that AI should only be to aid the journey, not to replace actors, because we want to feel that human emotion.
AI was a big part of the actors' strike 3 years ago, with the union pushing for more protections from it. Still, AI in entertainment is becoming more common. The upcoming film, As Deep as the Grave, features an AI-generated performance from the late Val Kilmer.
Don't fear the dead, and don't fear me.
I don't think we're going to see people lining up to see AI movies because they don't feel real. Their eyes don't look real. There's a lot of things that have to be perfected yet.
Still, Tilly's creators have compared what they're doing to traditional animation and CGI and say Tilly is a piece of art that's sparking conversations. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.